Yeah, this that entrepreneurial conversation where ideas flip the hustle into elevation. No filters, no cap, just lessons in motion. Pull up, lock in, this entrepreneurial conversation. Yeah.
Grand rising to all my investors and stuff out there, man. Thank y'all for coming through and tuning in to another episode of that entrepreneurial conversation that we having today. Thank y'all for tuning in, and hopefully, man, y'all checked out this past Friday sidebar convo radio show. Man, it was a great sidebar conversation that we had, giving y'all a brief breakdown of today's episode so y'all can be abreast what's going on. So hopefully y'all went through, and that's why I make those shows, so it's for y'all to know what this episode, the main episode, which we drop here on every Monday, is going to be about, then to give y'all a chance to be able to ask questions regarding the episode, any questions you have surrounding the episode and what have you, man. That's why I do that. I started I created that show so y'all can have something to vibe out to on Friday mornings and what have you. So hopefully y'all take advantage of that, because I created that sidebar convo show just for y'all. But today, man, convo we're gonna have today, we're gonna be talking about is hard work doesn't guarantee success. So that is gonna be the conversation that we're gonna have today. But before we start on the conversation for today, you know what time it is, guys. Make sure you subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and subscribe to the Invest Media channel. And make sure you hit on that notification bell and hit all, so you can be notified with anything that drops new on the Invest Media channel. And also hit on that like button, man. It's free to invest in. Hitting that like button costs you nothing but $0 to invest in hitting that like button, guys. So definitely do that, guys. Very, very important. But and another announcement is the new show, our new night show for the late nightpreneurs, called No Pressure, Just Vibes. I pushed it back, so it's not going to drop until next Monday night, because I've been under the weather, what have you, nose stopped up. So I'm doing this show right here. Really, I want to be laying down right now and relaxing, but at the same time, I have to show up, because these shows, I definitely want to make sure I stay consistent at doing each and every week, unless something come up and I can't get to it, what have you. But I definitely wanted to do the sidebar, and definitely want to drop this one for y'all, entrepreneurial conversation, guys. So that is important. So make sure y'all jump down in that comment section too, and start lighting that comment section up, man. Give me any type of feedback, any questions that you have, because this Invest Media channel is for y'all entrepreneurs out here. It's a hub for entrepreneurs. Information that y'all need, any information y'all want, any advice, what have you, man. This is a hub for y'all to come to. It's like a safe haven, man, for y'all to get any type of advice, anything that y'all looking for, what have you. So these are the conversations that we having over here. But I don't want to hold y'all too long. And like I said today, man, conversation that we're going to be having today is we're going to be talking about hard work doesn't guarantee success. Because you got to understand, man, hard work is required when you're on your entrepreneurial journey, but you got to understand that's not enough. That's not going to be enough, especially when you don't have a direction to your hard work, because you got to understand success as an entrepreneur comes from direction, strategy, timing, and self-awareness, right? So this is the layer on top of effort and what have you. So you want to make sure that you are doing these things, because if you just working hard with no direction to your hard work and what have you, you're just going to be working hard for no reason, right? Eventually you're going to be working hard in the wrong direction, in the wrong way. So to save you time, save you energy, you want to make sure you are applying the right direction, the strategy, and you are providing the timing that you need for your hard work that you are doing to become successful as an entrepreneur, to build your business, bring your idea into fruition, what have you, and your self-awareness as an entrepreneur, right? So started. So you know how it is, man. When it comes to hard work, society sells. For a long time, you heard this where society sells when it comes to hard work. They tell you work hard and you'll make it. But at the end of the day, they don't tell you order for you to be able to make it off your hard work, you got to apply a direction to your hard work. See, they never tell you that because you got to understand, man, you got people working 12 hours a day, right? Working 12 hours today, but they still stuck, right? Or they still, not where they want to be financially, what have you, right? Because they just working hard. They don't really have a direction to why they working hard, what they working hard towards. You got to have a purpose. Yeah, we work a 9 to 5 job. We work 12 hours on our job, 10 hours on our job. Why are we working these 10 to 12 hours? Yes, we working to pay bills and what have you, but you got to have a direction to that hard work. You got to have some type of purpose of why you working hard. What you working hard, or are you trying to, be able to save money, right? To be able to better your situation. You are working hard so you can create something for yourself, so you can invest, so you can do multiple things. So you want to have a direction because you got to understand, man, effort without direction, going to lead to what? Burnout. You're going to become burnt out. And that's why you see a lot of times when people work hard for so long, they eventually end up becoming what? Burnt out on a job. They're not feeling no more. Every time they wake up, they dread going to their jobs, right? Because it's something, because the effort that they apply, they're not seeing any type of results because you got to have direction, right? To your hard work. You just don't want to be working hard just to be working hard, right? Because at the end of the day, you're not going to see no breakthrough from that. So in an entrepreneur, world, as an entrepreneur, right? You definitely don't want to be working hard as an entrepreneur and you not going anywhere, right? Because you're going to eventually burn yourself out, especially you're not seeing any type of breakthrough from your hard work, right? So you got to understand hard work is just the entry fee to be starting your entrepreneur journey and building your business, might as well say building your foundation, right? So hard work is just the entry fee. It's not the winning ticket to your success as an entrepreneur. So you definitely got to understand that, man. You can grind for years in the wrong direction and call it what? Dedication, but it's really just misalignment. Let me say it again. You can grind for years in the wrong direction and call it dedication, but it's really just misalignment. So you want to make sure this right here is to make sure you realign yourself in the right direction, because like I said in the Sidebar Convo Radio show episode, right? That's just like saying you are traveling in the wrong direction. You already went 3 to 4 miles in the wrong direction before you found out you was going in the wrong direction. So order for you to start seeing progress or start making progress or seeing any type of building your way towards seeing results or having a breakthrough, you must hit a U-turn, and you got to go them same 3 to 4 miles back the other way just to get back to what? The starting point where you can start going in the right direction so you can see that breakthrough, so you can work your way towards seeing results and what have you. So you don't want to be going in the wrong direction for years, because that's going to cause you to now have to work extra amount of years just to get back to the starting point so you can start building on what you want to become successful in as an entrepreneur, right? So you must understand that. So the difference between motion versus progress, right? So being busy and versus being productive, right? Like I said in Sidebar Convo, being busy, you looking busy, but really you're not making any progress. You are, like I said in there, you are posting, but you're not converting, right? Just say you trying to post and let everybody know what you are about, your services, what you're doing as an entrepreneur, what your business is and what have you, just posting, but it's not the right things that's going to reach people, or it's not something that's going to pique people's interest or make them stop strolling to click on your post, right? So it's all about doing the right things that's going to create conversion for you to get people to your site, to get people to learn more about who you are as an entrepreneur, about your services, about your products, and what have you, right? So you want to be productive. Don't look busy, right? You want to be, because being productive, going to lead to what? Building. And that's one thing you want to do. You want to start building. And understand one thing, grinding daily, but you're not moving forward strategically, right? Grinding daily, but you're not moving forward strategically. So you want to make sure you have your strategies down as an entrepreneur, because you can grind on a daily basis, but you don't have a strategy. You're not moving forward. You're not making any type of progress, which is called what? False progress. And that's the last thing you want to do, man, is cause to have false progress, because having false progress, guys, does nothing for you, right? And another thing is working versus building, right? You can be working every day, working on your business, working on what you need to do as an entrepreneur, working on your ideas, doing what you think is right, and things that you feel like you are contributing to building your business. But at the same time, it's not building. It's a difference between working and actually building. You can work, but you're not working with any type of direction at all, right? When you start building, you'll know that you actually building something, because guess what? When you start to actually build and you're doing the right things, and you have a direction to your hard work, you're going to see the progress of your building. When you building, it's going to start showing. You're going to start seeing breakthrough. You're going to start seeing small wins. You're going to start seeing everything come together, and you're going to know when you see it, right? So that's the difference between working and building. So you just don't want to be working. You want to actually be building something, right? Making progress, right? Because you just working with no direction. That's just making what? False progress. So you don't want, that's the last thing you want to do. You want to make sure you are doing the right things that's going to help you in the long run as an entrepreneur. Because guess what, guys? Posting content every day with no strategy versus target content that converts. Let me say it again. Posting content every day with no strategy versus target content that converts. You want to convert. That's conversion is everything. You can post and post and post, but if you're not getting anybody to come to your site, come to see what you do, who you are as an entrepreneur, your posting is not causing conversions, then that should let you know that you are doing something wrong. You might need to change something. So ask yourself this: is what I'm doing actually moving the needle? So you got to ask yourself that. What am I doing? Actually, is what I'm doing, my bad, is what I'm doing actually moving the needle, right? Because you got to understand, a lot of people are addicted to the feeling of hard work, right? So you don't want to have that type of dopamine and that feeling to hard work. Like you are able to tell people, yeah, I'm working hard. I'm working hard, because a lot of times we like to trick our minds to thinking because we are working hard, we are making progress, we are doing something. But in all reality, you're not really going anywhere. You're not really seeing any breakthrough. You're not really even seeing any type of results off your hard work. Not to say, yes, say for instance, you do have everything put in place, the right direction. You have a strategy, you have a system, you have everything. But sometimes it might take time for you to see results. It might take time to see a breakthrough off your hard work, right? But the thing is, you're going to eventually see it versus you not having a direction to your hard work, because you're never going to see it, right? You're never going to make any type of progress. So you must understand that, guys, the difference between motion versus progress, right? So you just don't want to feel like, okay, yeah, I got motion, me being busy is motion, right? But actually being productive in producing results, building and what have you, and creating conversion is progress, right? You're making progress. So direction beats effort. Let me say that again, guys. Direction beats effort. So the thing about that is a person with a clear plan will outperform a hard worker with no vision. Let me say it again. A person with a clear plan will outperform a hard worker with no vision, right? So you want to have a plan of action, right? And one thing, you can go back. I talked about this. I had a whole entire episode on last week, Entrepreneurial Conversation about system. So I'm not going to really get into deep about a system. I'm just going to say a system is something that's the most important thing to build. Actually, first carve out your create your framework. That you're going to use as your system to help you um stay on track, stay focused, right? So you won't have to overthink things on a daily basis or what have you, right? So that's why that system is there for. So you want to have a clear plan, because a clear plan going to give you an outline, it's going to basically do the thinking for you, because all you have to do is go and look at what you have right there. That's going to be your template to help keep you on track, to help you do what you need to do to see results and what have you. So success requires vision, system, and execution. Those are one of the three important things: is vision, a system, and execution. And people don't understand, if you're not executing, then you're not going to make it far as an entrepreneur. It's all about execution. It don't matter what you do at the end of the day. If you're not executing, you're not going to be successful as an entrepreneur. So let me say it again. If you're not executing, then you're not going to be successful as an entrepreneur, right? So that's why it's important for you to have that system. You can have a vision, but make sure you have a direction around that vision that you have, right? And make sure you have that system around that business, that idea, everything that's around that you're going to use to help you with your business. Because like I said before, all businesses, like jobs you work at, have a system, and that system is put in place so no one, like the management, the supervisors, don't have to overthink about anything, because it's a system, a template for them to follow. And it's there for you to make sure you are doing the things that's within the system to make sure to help you produce great quality, to make sure you are consistent with your work, right? So systems are there to be more like a guideline for the workers, to make sure they is providing structure within that work, within that business, within that shift, within that building, what have you, whatever you want to call it. That system going to provide structure, right, to make sure everybody is operating as a team, making sure things are getting out efficiently, making sure the consistency of the quality is there. So systems are there to make sure companies can succeed each and every quarter and what have you, to make sure the business is staying afloat, right? So systems are very important, and execution at the end of the day is what businesses and everybody's looking for. Hold on, guys. Let me get that up off the screen. Okay. So that's very important, guys. So you need a target, right, before you apply pressure. So the target, you want to know what your target is. What are your target audience? Who are you targeting? What is your target audience, right? What's your target? What is your market that you're targeting? What is your audience, right? So you definitely want to have a direction, because like they say, if you swing at everything, you're not gonna hit anything. So you want to make sure you are targeting the right thing, and that requires making sure that you are heading in the right direction to that target market that you are trying to convert to eventually, come in and be a customer of yours, or someone to use your service and what have you, or you trying to eventually get conversions and what have you. So you want to make sure before you apply the pressure, you need a target. You need to know who your target audience is and what have you. So Hard work in the right direction builds what? Empires. Hard work in the wrong direction builds what? Frustration. Because you're going to become frustrated, right? If you're going in the wrong direction, you're going to be wondering why, what's wrong, what's going on. I feel like I'm doing all the right things, and I wake up every day. I'm consistent. I'm showing up. I'm putting in 120% of hard work. I'm doing what I need to do. Why I'm not seeing what I need to see, the results of my any results off my hard work? Because guess what? You're going in the wrong direction, right? So make sure you are heading in the right direction. And you ask, okay, how do I know if I'm heading in the right direction? How can I start now as an entrepreneur? Make sure I'm providing that I am creating the right direction for my business, for my ideas, and what have you. And the way to go about that is, sometimes, it helps for you to find somebody who can mentor you, find somebody who already has done this as an entrepreneur, or somebody that's within that same field doing the same things you that won't mind showing you how to build that right direction around your idea, right? You also have groups that you can join with like-minded people like yourself that can help you provide that right direction. And you have people that have courses. You have, and, some people may be weary about courses and what have you, but you want to make sure it's legit course, something that the person that is selling that course, or that person that won't that are teaching is going to teach you the things that you need to know as an entrepreneur, making sure that they have a track record of being successful in helping people build businesses and what have you. So it's many things that you can do to help you provide that right direction that you need as an entrepreneur, right? So the next thing is system over hustle, and that's the thing about it, is hustle is just temporary, right? But a system create what? Consistency. Like I said, systems create consistency, right? Successful people don't just work hard, they build repeatable processes. And that's the thing about it. You want to build a system and processes that going to produce the same results for you month in and month out, like I said last episode when I was talking about systems. So some people win. You might have some people out here as entrepreneur might win on accident, might have a success in a month by accident, and don't know how they produce those results, right? Because now they can't transfer that over to the next month because they don't know how they created that results in the first place. They don't know where to begin with. They don't know where to start. They don't know what they did. They just happen to have the month that they did off of what? By accident, right? So you want to understand what you did to be able to create that same results on a month in and month out. So building repeatable processes will help you be consistent at creating the same results on a monthly basis, right? Discipline to a system. Like I said, that was basically what the episode last week was about, called discipline to a winning system. So you want to be disciplined to your system, not just random motivation. I talk, like I said, I'm not going to get too much into this section right here because I did a show all last week about systems. That definitely a great episode for y'all to go and listen to, about being disciplined to a winning system. So I'm not going to this section. I'm not going to go too in depth into it. So discipline to a system versus over random motivation, right? So if you stop working, does your progress stop too, right? So you want to make sure you are making the right progress. You are doing the right things that is making the progress that you are looking for, right? So it's very important to understand that. So investing in yourself means building systems that pay you back. Let me say it again. Investing in yourself means building systems that pay you back. And that's very important. You want to make, we get in business, right? Yes, we get in business so we can be able to change our financial structure. We'll be able to become financially secure, especially secure our future and what have you. But the thing is, you get in the business to serve people, to solve problems and what have you, creating things that people can benefit off of, creating solutions for people problems and what have you, right? So that's very important to understand that. And the next thing is timing and awareness, right? So timing and awareness. So sometimes your hard work, sometimes you're working hard, but it's not the right season. Let me say it again. Sometimes you're working hard, but it's not the right season, right? So meaning, yes, you're working hard, but it's not the right season, right? You might be too early into what you're doing that's causing people to not click on your post or pique their interest in what you have to offer, right? It might not be the right season. So you definitely want to understand. That's why it's so important for you to provide direction to your hard work, because you don't want to be working hard on something that it might not be the right time for it, right? It might be just too early. You might be entering into it too early to where you may have to give people time, right? So you want to understand the season that you are in. So that might be that's what's so important about timing. You want to make sure your timing is there, right? So you don't want to be early into an idea and you miss your mark, and that may turn people off. That may, hurt you more than help you, and what have you. So you want to make sure your timing is right, so that, and awareness plays into all that. You definitely want to be aware as an entrepreneur of what you are doing, what your target audience is asking for, what's the demand, what is really needed, what can you provide to be a solution to people problem. So the market matters. Like I just said, you want to pay attention to the market. What is the market asking for? What is the demand? What is missing within the market, right? So you don't want to be working hard on something that the market is not asking for, demand is not high for, and what have you. So, and another thing is positioning matters. So you want to make sure you are positioning yourself to be able to get the opportunity when it's there. You want to be able to position yourself so you be able to help you set yourself in a winning situation where you may have something that now people won't. You have something that solves people problems. So you want to make sure your timing is perfect, not perfect, just making sure your timing is right? Making sure you position yourself in a way where when the opportunity does present itself, right, you are there to be able to take it, right? So the awareness of when to pivot is key. So sometimes you might have to pivot from what you are doing right now, not meaning you have to give it up, but you might have to pivot to something else because this is what may be needed. This may be something that's in high demand. So, or like I said, this might not be the season for it yet, but you want to be able to be aware and you want to know when to pivot is key. Like I said, some things may happen within the market where you might have to pivot to something else for the time being to help you be able to produce results on a month in and month out to keep your business going and what have you. So you definitely want to do that. So selling something nobody wants yet versus solving a current demand. Like I just said, guys, I was ahead of this, right? So selling something nobody wants yet versus solving a current demand. So you don't want to sell something. Like I said, what you are trying to sell or the idea that you have may be a good idea. Trust me, it might be good, but it might be the wrong season for it. It might be too early because right now, this is not what people want. This is not a solution to people problems, right? This is not the demand for something in the market that's missing, right? So you want to be able to solve something that is in current demand. So that's why it's so important to make sure you are aware of the market, right? You are positioning yourself for the opportunity just in case demand for something goes up, you already position yourself right there and the opportunity presents itself for you to what? Now show everybody that you have the solution to their problem, what have you, right? So very important to understand that, right? So next thing is skill versus effort, right? Skill versus effort. You can't outwork you can't outwork a lack of skill forever, right? Let me say it again. You can't outwork a lack of skill forever. So that's why it's important, right, for you to grow as an entrepreneur. More you grow as an entrepreneur, more your business going to grow, because it starts with you. It's all up to you as an entrepreneur is how you want to grow. You getting better at your skills, your skill set, right? Yes, you can start off with the skill set that you're great in right now, but eventually you're going to have to start getting better at every other areas too, because that's the thing about innovation. You got to innovate your business at some point. That's why some people, depending on what you're doing as an entrepreneur, go to different seminars, because it might be a new technique that come out, it may be a new service that may come out, it may be something that's new that you may have to go to in that seminar, where everybody, other people within your field is doing, to learn that new skill and what have you. So growth, how do you grow, right? Growth requires learning, adjusting, and evolving, right? So you definitely want to continue to learn. More you learn as an entrepreneur is going to help you apply wherever areas you need to apply it at as an entrepreneur, because more you grow, your business grow. It goes hand in hand. Because if you stop growing, guess what? Your business is going to stop growing. You're going to eventually you're going to end up falling off. You're not going to have longevity as an entrepreneur, right? So I'm not saying that to scare all my new entrepreneurs. I'm just letting you know it's all up to you. The ball is in your court as an entrepreneur, right? So growth requires learning and adjusting. You got to be able to adjust when the market that you are in is demanding this. You got to be able to adjust. If something happened within the market, slow times, right, within your market, you got to be able to adjust, right? So you can be able to stay afloat, to adjust, so you can be able to produce results this month that like you did last month and what have you. It's all about adjusting, and you also got to evolving within what's going on. You got to be able to evolve. That goes along with pivoting, right? You got to be able to evolve into something better, get better each and every time, and got to be ready to be able to pivot at any given moment, right? So effort plus skill development equals what? Real leverage. So let me say it again. Effort plus skill development equals what? Real leverage, right? So the next thing is accountability check. This is very important. You got to hold yourself accountable for any lack of things that you have as an entrepreneur. You got to hold yourself accountable of things that you failed to learn. You got to hold yourself accountable for the wrong direction that you applied to your hard work. So it's all about accountability check. So the thing about that is, are you actually working hard, or are you just comfortable being busy? So let me say it again. Are you actually working hard, or are you just comfortable being busy? So is the hard work that's heading you in the right direction as an entrepreneur, or you just comfortable with looking busy? You may know, for instance, that what you're doing is not going to get you nowhere. You're not sure that this is the right things to do, but the fact that you're looking busy, you can looking busy, and you can tell people you're working hard, you good, right? Another thing is, are you avoiding strategy because it's harder than effort? Let me say it again. Are you avoiding strategy because it's harder than effort, right? Because you got to understand, you have people that give effort, right? You may have somebody that may be that may not be the best worker, but it may look like they are a good worker because they give good effort, right? Because you get good effort doesn't mean that you're going to produce results. Because you give an effort doesn't mean you're going to be a successful entrepreneur, right? So You got to have, like I said, systems, strategies. You got to have all these things put in place to become a successful entrepreneur. Effort, you're not going to become successful giving effort, right? What effort going to do is going to eventually um, delay you as becoming a successful entrepreneur, and eventually you're going to not be an entrepreneur, right, for the long haul and what have you. So just don't give effort just to say, hey, I'm working hard. Look at me, I'm busy, right? And another thing is, are you tracking results or just activity, right? Are you tracking results or activity? Because it's a difference between results and activity, right? Results is something that you can measure, right? For something you might working on this goal and you was able to accomplish this goal, execute on this plan, this goal, what have you. Now you got the results from it. So now you can use that to measure up to your next goal, right? Whatever you do. So results lead to you becoming successful, building something that's going to be successful, right? Results you can measure, right? You can use that to measure up against when you are doing other things, moving on to the next thing that's on your plan that you have planned for as your business and what have you, right? Activity is just activity, right? You can't measure activity, right? It's just showing you what you have done. But if you don't have any results behind the activity that you've been doing from your hard work, it's just activity. You don't have anything to measure that up against at all, right? You can't measure no results up against anything, right? So you just being active, but you're not producing any results. It's not going to help you, right? So you want to make sure you are producing results where you can track results. You can, like I said, you can track results and things that's within results of what you did to help measure it against something else that you're going to plan on doing as an entrepreneur and what have you. So it's very important to understand that if hard work alone worked, you will already be where you want to be. Let me say it again. If hard work alone worked, you will be already where you want to be, where you want it to be, right? So you got to understand that, man. It's all about accountability. You got to have that accountability check. Are you doing, or you got to hold yourself accountable, right? So are you working hard in the right direction, or are you just comfortable being busy, right? Are you creating strategies for your business, creating strategies for your hard work and what have you, or you just want to look like you giving effort, right? Are you producing results that you can track, or you just want to look active, right? As an active entrepreneur, right? So it's a difference, a big difference. So last but not least, man, what actually leads to success? What actually leads to success? A clear vision, strategic execution, consistency, adaptability, self-investment, environment. Who you around, what you consume is very important. I also have, I think I have episode, early episode about environment, prepping your environment. I think that's what it's called. So that's another good episode. Go join. So that's very important. These things are very important. A clear vision, strategic execution, consistency, adaptability, self-investment. You got to invest in yourself. But first, before you invest in yourself, you got to change your mindset, right? And environment, who you're around and what you consume, right? Very, very important. So, guys, man, thank y'all, man, for coming through, joining, tuning in to another entrepreneur conversation. I apologize if, my voice sound raspy, what have you. Like I said, man, I pushed through this episode the best way I can because I want to be consistent at doing this, right? I want to be consistent at giving y'all conversation, giving y'all things that y'all can listen to. Hopefully y'all can learn from it, take something from it, what have you. So I want to make sure I'm always here giving y'all a good conversation where y'all can start off y'all Monday mornings in the right direction. So that's what's very, very important. As before I go, I want to leave y'all with this before I close this out. It's hard work will open the door, but strategy is what going to walk you through it. So that's very important to understand that your hard work is the entry fee to open the door, but your strategy is what going to walk you through the door. It's very important to understand that. That's why it's important for you to build strategy, to understand strategically how you're going to move as an entrepreneur, guys. But other than that, man, thank y'all once again. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Invest Media channel. Make sure you hit that notification, hit all, so you can be notified when anything new drop on this channel. And also, man, invest in hitting that like button, guys. It's free to invest in hitting that like button. But other than that, guys, man, I see y'all when I see y'all. Yup.